Welcome to lesson 55 of our interactive notes. And we are on metric length, pages 59 and 60. Okay, so our content objective for 4th grade MD measurement data A1. I can show that I know the relative size of measurement units within a single system. Language objective. I can use vocabulary related to the metric system to describe which unit should be best to measure different objects. Social objective. I can work with others to identify which unit of measure would be best to measure different objects. Okay, so we have a few words here that we're looking at. Length. That is a measure of the largest side of a figure. Another question is how long. Measurement of horizontal distance, how far apart. So we're looking at, for length, how long or how far apart. Here, a saltwater crocodile can grow to a length of more than 20 feet. So that longest side. Metric system. An internationally used system of weights and measures based on decimals. The ratios between units of measure are multiples of 10. So we have 1,000 milligrams, 1 gram. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms in this chart. It's hard to see, but the metric system is one that you travel around the world. That's the unit of measure that they are using commonly. So here's many of our terms. Millimeter, a unit of measure of length in the metric system. 10 millimeters is equal to 1 centimeter. Well, mil means 1,000, but milli would be thousandth. So it puts it in the decimal, the thousandth place. Where just mil is different than milli, but they're very close. Centimeter, a unit of measure of length in the metric system. 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. Cent is 100, centi is 100th. Like our 100 cents makes $1, 100th. Decimeter, a unit of measure of length in the metric system. 10 decimeters is equal to 1 meter. So the DEC could be 10, but the deci, like decimal, we have tenth. Meter, a unit of measure of length in the metric system, equal to 100 centimeters. So this is a length. Meter is always dealing with length. The standard baseball bat is almost 1 meter long. So if you want to picture what a meter is, just imagine a baseball bat. Okay, kilometer or kilometer. I've heard it two ways. We usually pronounce kilometer in the United States. A unit of measure of length in the metric system equal to 1,000 meters. So kilo, or for kilometer, is 1,000. So again, milli is 1,000th. It's a fraction or decimal. Centi is 1/100th. Deci is 1/10th. Kilo is 1,000. Length. measuring the distance between 2 points, measuring how tall, wide, long, or deep an object is. So metric length, we use meters. Okay. Also, just a reminder, 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter. 10 centimeters is 1 decimeter. 10 decimeters is 1 meter. 100 centimeters is a meter. 1,000 meters is a kilometer. That's the longest length. So millimeters are the smallest, kilometers are the largest. Now, we're going to be imagining about what length makes the most sense. So here, it's hard to see, but this is a picture of a dime. If you want to know how big a millimeter is, it's about the thickness of a dime. So that's this part right here. That thickness, it's not very thick. It's very, very thin, actually. So millimeters are very small. Centimeters, so 2 of these make up 10 of these. So if you stack 10 dimes, that would give us a centimeter. So a centimeter is about the length of a ladybug. So if you stack 10 dimes, the height of that stack would be about the length of a ladybug. So again, not very big. Okay. Then for decimeters, about the length of a place value rod. So if you think of those place value rods, they're usually about this big. This isn't exactly the size, but they're about this big or so. So that would be about the size of a decimeter. So if you put 10 ladybugs together, end to end, then you would get a decimeter. About the length of a place value rod. The one that we use for the tens. So if you stacked 100 dimes, that would be about the length of this place value rod. A meter, now up here we looked at it, it's about the length of a baseball bat. Another thing to picture is about the length of a golf club. So much longer now. If you stacked 1,000 dimes, they would be as tall as a golf club or a baseball bat. If you had 100 ladybugs end to end, that would be about the length of a baseball bat or a golf club. And if you took 10 of those place value rods and put them end to end, they would be about the length of a baseball bat or a golf club. Now a kilometer, that is much larger. These are actually pictures of buildings. It's about the length of 4 to 5 city blocks. So imagine, most of you, it could be your walk home or drive home from school is about 1 kilometer. So that would be 1,000 meters. 1,000 golf clubs put end to end, or baseball bats. So that would be 10,000 place value rods. That would be about 100,000 ladybugs end to end. That would be 1,000,000 dimes stacked. So it's a very long distance. So this is going from the least measurement to the greatest measurement. Alright, so now looking at measuring with a ruler. When you measure with a ruler, you always want to start at the very end. So this didn't copy very darkly. But you always want to line up the object at the very end of the ruler, and then you want to see where does it meet the ruler on the other side. You could start in the middle, but then you'd have to do some subtraction. Here, if we start at 0 and 4, 4 take away 0 is 4. It makes it easier. You could have started and gone from 2 to 6. 6 take away 2 is 4. But since subtracting 0 is a lot easier, you just have to look at where it's measured to. So that's what it's saying here. So you start measuring at the end here, and then you go to see where it meets on the other side. So this object would be about 4 centimeters. With a ruler, we usually use centimeters and millimeters. So if we practice here, this shell lines up with the end, and so it ends up lining up on the about here on this side. So it is about on mine, the shell is about 5 centimeters long. It's a little past, because if you notice, the line didn't go straight down. So there's some millimeters in there, but we're only looking at centimeters. So it's a little more than 5, but it's closer to 5 than it is to 6. Okay, we have a pine cone here. We're going to do the same. So the end is at the 0. And then we look and see where the other side is pretty close to. So if I go straight down, it looks like it's about at the 8. The pine cone is about 8 centimeters long. Okay, now we're going to look at more using metric length in our 3-column notes.